I don't got no friends. I don't got no friends. You know what I mean? I got supporters, people on my side and people on the other side.
Welcome to the shift where the whole room glows. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. This you flat, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm like, yo, shine just right. Respect your view even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. This that channel that be talking back, energy attack. Iron sharp as iron, watch the whole league react. Competition in the building, better tighten up your facts. We ain't clones, but we still mirror how you crack under impact. Every debater work hard, spot a weak, rap fast. You live wrong, paradigm shift, and break your stance. I'm the judge, the jury, the pen, the contrast. My bars hit always like a quadruple, buying to the shift where the whole room glow. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm like, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't all align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. We invite every mind long as you stand on yours. Walking with respect, leave with open doors. Channel stay lit, views jumping off the boards. STL bounce, yeah, the spot from the source. Competitors, welcome, step up, don't fold. We don't fit pressure, we refine under load. Thoughts heavy, we press them till the truth gets told. Shift so clean, if the platinum even willing to go. Come through correct, bring your logic and your proof. Speak your truth, just don't run from the truth. We debate with grace, that's the paradigm groove. Flow so smooth, even turbulence move. Welcome to the shift where the whole room go. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Where the home go. DMG Bob, got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' go. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibes, got the city on go. Welcome to the shift. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. Welcome to the shift. If you black, I'm with you, if you black, I'm with you. Welcome to the shift. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. Welcome to the shift. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibe, got the city on low. Walk with paradigm shift, keep it real for.
Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you black, I'm with you. And I hope that you with me.
Good night, everyone. Good night. This is Take It Back Wednesday. This is a response to Brother Easy Bands. Step into the light. The link is in the chat. You can hit the link at any time. Not a problem. DMG supposed to drop the link to Easy Bands, but I don't know if he's gonna come in or not. But the link is in the chat for you, so you can hit the link whenever you are ready. Let me go ahead, play my theme song. The link for Worldview Wars is in there, and the link for Salamonic TV is in there. Let me drop it again and see what's going on. I don't know why it's not working. Let me copy it again, drop it again, and you try it again. Let's see. All right. There we go, Light. The link is in the chat. Try it again and let me know. Go back again. All right, come on now. Stop.
Dust settled on the glass, shadows stretching long. Two truths in the yard, singing different songs. The air got thick as syrup, hard to breathe the truth. Got thick as syrup, hard to breathe the truth. Spent too many seasons burning up our youth. I'm waving a flag that ain't white, it's just clear. I'm waving a flag that ain't white, it's just clear. No heavy armor here, just the weight of the year.
You're not getting it, Tom? I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, Light. I don't know what to do. I don't know what is going on. So here what you can do there. Just go ahead, go into StreamYard, click onto the live itself, and then you could come in that way. If you're not getting through the link I'm dropping. So you could do that and just come in. What's up, Cedric? So you could do that by the time. Go in to StreamYard, look for the live, click onto the live, and then just pop into the live that way. I'm gonna drop the link one more time. If it doesn't work, just go directly into StreamYard and click onto the live itself, and you could pop in and let yourself in that way if you're not getting it.
Stepped outside the ego, left the pride on the floor. Tired of the cold and sliding under the door. Put some respect on the disrespect. All I am trying to do is connect. Let's have a convo. Put some respect on the disrespect. Put some respect on the disrespect. The words are getting dusty. The static's in the wild.
Well, Light, I dropped it in the link again. So I don't know if you could get it that way. I don't know what's the problem. Let me go check and see. Let me go on there and see if I could get through it. Give me 1 second, people. Let me put the music back on by the time so we could so there's no dead thing.
Fire, trying to keep the heat without starting the fire. Walking through the garden, looking at the thorns. Waiting for the light of the coming of the morns. Waiting for the light of the coming of the morn. You said what you said and I heard the sound. Now I'm standing here with my feet on the ground. Now I'm standing here with my feet on the ground. Check the mirror, check the motives at the gate. Too much life to lose on the weight of the hate. Put some respect on the disrespect. All I am trying to do is connect. Let's have a convo. Put some respect on the disrespect. Put some respect on the disrespect. Just talk. That's all. That's all. Peace in the silence.
Oh, man. I don't know what's going on, Light. The link seems not to be working, so I don't know what to do. I have no idea what to do. I really don't know what to do at this point. Because it's not. I don't know what that's about. Oh, I changed the view. Let me know how to go ahead and come back in then. Let me see if I can do that. Give me 1 second, Light. Let me see if I can do that. Let me see if I could do that. If I could do that. Give me 1 second. Let's see. See if I can edit it and change the view. I do want to end the live. Let's see, can I edit it? Yes, I can edit it. Man. Can I change the view? Okay. Can I? Okay. Can I change the orientation? Okay, I don't think I could do that. Now while it's live, I don't want to. I have to change one of the views. I don't know. I don't even know. Damn. Here's what to do. Like, it's if you go onto Worldview Wars, it has a, if you go into Worldview Wars, it's portrait. So you can check Worldview Wars' portrait. And oh shit! Oops! I didn't mean to do that. All right. So I think Worldview Wars is portrait, and because it's on 3 different ones. So the one you probably want to go to get the view that you're looking for is, I think you go to Worldview Wars, has it that way. And right. So Worldview Wars and Paradigm Shift. There you go. Good night, sis. How are you?
Hello, Steve. Hello. Yeah, I had to go. I had to copy the link and go straight to the web.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to change the view. You have the view.
I know. I don't know if Easy Band is gonna come in, but you might have some questions, so you could shoot some questions if you have any questions, because I don't think Easy Band is coming in.
I think
So you have any questions?
I think
By the time?
DMG was supposed to shoot him the link, so I'm not sure. Did you speak to DMG?
I spoke to him. He said you were to be here, and he said that he was supposed to shoot him the link when he went live yesterday. So I'm waiting to see if that's the case. By the time, if you have any questions, we can interact until he comes on, so we don't have any dead air, and I'm not myself.
I want to know, what was the purpose of your show today?
To respond to what he said.
To respond to the questions he was asking?
Yes, and to show him texts that were complete texts, such as the Papyrus of Ani, that were destroyed by the same Egyptologist who he was touting yesterday. Because the Papyrus of Ani was a complete text, and it was destroyed by Butch, who cut it up into pieces and glued it onto boards and destroyed it. So they have texts that were complete and well preserved, and to the same Egyptologist who he was touting, destroyed it.
Well, I think the brother was saying, I think what the brother was saying is that the spiritual text, how you would worship, how they worship on a daily basis, or who they worship, those things was destroyed, if I'm not mistaken.
He's quoting the Egyptologist who says the texts that they're dealing with are just institutional texts, and they don't apply to daily life, which is definitely something that I would consider to be someone's conjecture, because they don't know how deep these things go. And they have a text called the Papyrus of Ani, which was a perfectly preserved text. This was one of these texts in the afterlife that they refer to as the Book of the Dead, Besapert and Peru. So
Yeah,
when you're dealing,
I'm familiar with the Papyrus of Ani.
right,
That was the
it shows
one. The Papyrus of Ani is where I got the information about Atum sending, humanity back into the Noon.
right. So so when you look at these texts are clearly not for dead people because dead people don't read. So if you're printing a text in a tomb on a wall where people can see it, then it's clearly not for dead people to read. Clearly not. So this is just showing you how you're supposed to live in life, and it is repeating these steps once you're gone. You're confirming that this is the way that you live once you're judged. It's not just confessing something when you die, because you clearly would have had to live that way. And this is not something just for this one particular person, because they had dozens of these that you could show from different people. But of course, in this particular case, they're going to find people who have high status, then make the argument that the afterlife was only for people of high status. And nowhere in the text does it say that. Nowhere in the text does it say anything about anyone's status in the afterlife. It simply says, if you're going to die and you're going to be judged, and if your heart is lighter than a feather, you will enter in to the field of reeds, and you will become a sword. That's what it
Yeah, I mean,
says.
I think everybody's familiar with that, but you also have to keep in mind that these pharaohs, or let's just say the hierarchy of that time, in the ruling class, they put themselves. They felt that they would become gods after they passed. So then
Well, the
right
culture.
there, right there, that shows you that there's a difference from what the hierarchy believe versus the everyday person.
There's not a difference in what the hierarchy believes. As an Asut, you were given a certain status that was above everyone else based on your status. You were considered the highest of what we call the high priest. You were the highest moral authority. So you were not put through the same trials and rigors that others were put through. You could absorb the powers of the nurture and become the nurture. That was the culture. It wasn't something that just the hierarchy agreed to. That was the culture. He was above that judgment. You never see any of them being judged because in life they were already compared to what we call gods. They were already considered one of them. So when they died, they had an automatic status in the afterlife. They didn't have to go through what other people had to go through. That was just the culture. It
And
was
can
that
you
he
pull
made it.
something up that shows that can prove that,
I
Jose?
think I would. I I think I would have something here. What is it called? They like to call it the cannibal hymn, but what it actually is showing you. I think it's Unas absorbing the power of these deities once he has passed on. Now, I don't
Right.
like
So that
what
would be. Hold
I'm
on,
going
real
to use,
quick.
but
That
simply because that is what I have to find.
so that would be for the upper
No, no, listen.
echelon of society, right? The pharaohs or just the ruling class. That would not apply to the everyday person.
It would apply specifically to the Nasut or the ruler. That wouldn't apply to anyone else.
Right. So
Specifically
then
for
that shows that the everyday person in the hierarchy were really practicing two different things. Because the
that's not
everyday
necessary.
person the everyday person would look at the hierarchy as they were gods, walking gods, gods in the flesh. But nobody looked at the
Well,
everyday person like they were gods.
that's not necessarily true. They do. They definitely saw themselves as nature. They definitely had that idea. But in African culture, the ruler is the ultimate moral authority on everything. That's just African culture. You can trust the leader to be a moral authority because they were taught from young. So if something went wrong with one leader, the other leader would come along and repair what he saw was wrong. So they had that moral authority to change the spiritual text because the Ankh gave them that spiritual authority. They were the ultimate high priest. They were the ultimate ruler of all. Everyone was considered their servant, and they could bestow blessings upon the population. So that is where people feel that there's no distinction to say that everyone did not follow that. That was their culture. That's how they saw their ruler in life
I think
and in
I
death.
think that I think I kind of understood what the brother was saying. It's like you guys are speaking about this ancient culture that spans thousands of years as if y'all knew exactly what they were doing.
I would think that we can read the text enough to understand when we are right, when we're wrong, and when we're doing innovation. So you look on the wall, you'll see certain rituals that you say, yes, we know this was done. We know that was done. We know that this is an innovation, such as doing YouTube video, such as possibly certain rituals that may have been reconstructed, such as something called the opening of the way. They're using real text. The texts are there, but they put it together in a way that was not necessarily put together in ancient times. So it's not that they're just making up something. They know that for sure this is what happened. This is what we can show you actually happened. So it's not just I'm making up a text. No,
Well,
we
I'm not saying
understand.
that you're making up a text, but my I guess my question is, how do you guys know that this is really what it was? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, my brain won't let me wrap around the fact that I believe these people, they were people that walked this earth and got and became deified over time. And you see the evidence in that with the pharaohs.
I'm not against the idea that these individuals could have been ancestors. I'm not against that idea. But I think sometimes when people get caught in this idea of scholarship, they don't just want to say something based on conjecture. They want to have what they feel is backup from the writings. But the fact remains, these writings, the culture is so old and it goes back so far before writing. A lot of these things that we see are just not in writing. We just don't see these things written down in that way. You understand what I'm saying? We can't necessarily find a text that says, yes, Atum was an actual ancestor. They don't necessarily find it that way. So the other side of caution, a lot of us who are black conscious don't want to assume. Asar is one of those who we could say they found some evidence that this individual was clearly a human, definitely, because they found the head of an individual who they think Asar was based on. They were venerating the head, so they can say with a surety that we know this individual was based on Asar. The other ones, they go back so far, they can't say. And as I say, when you're in this thing and people are placing value on scholarship, you don't just want to say anything. Because then people are going to come along and say, he's making up something. You understand? So we're trying our best to stick with what we know of the text, to say the text do say this, the text do say that. But I'm going to tell people who think we're imitating Madame Blavatsky and these weirdo Europeans. You've never heard anyone who's a practitioner ever quote those weirdos. So I want people to understand that we don't do that. We definitely don't quote them. And nothing that we say comes from any of these weirdos, the esoteric weirdos. So for people who think that we're quoting Europeans, that's not true. For people who say some weird white lady is an authority on being a Kemetic practitioner, no. There's no gay Kemetic priest. All that weird stuff doesn't go. It doesn't fly in ancient Kemetic culture. They spoke out against those types of behavior. You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of people like to make assertions based on never having read a text, never having pulled up any text, but they're making this assertion that they know what was lost. Just like an Egyptologist is telling you most of this was lost and most of that was lost. How does he know that life? How does he know how many texts were written? How does he know most of the everyday practice was lost? Could you answer that for me? How does an Egyptologist come up with that idea? That
I'm
because
get I would I
particular
would
practice.
say I would say that most of the people in academia, they have been archaeologists, they've been to these sites, they've seen the evidence, whereas you seem to have this trust in people who've never put eyes on the evidence. They only can go off of what they read for what somebody else wrote too as well.
But I am not an individual who's fluent in Medu Neter. I can spot some mistakes depending on what it is you're showing me. So I know when you go into these corpuses like the TLA, you take liberties with these translations all the time. And if you don't know, you're going to run with this. You're going to run with someone's conjecture that because they have a PhD, they're an authority on everything. It doesn't work that way.
But is that not what you did with Jabari yesterday? You did the same thing.
In terms of what?
When you was like, oh, how he talking about Jabari when Jabari had a degree and he's had a degree for 40 years. So Jabari went to school just like these other people. But the difference between Jabari and the other people, right, is that these other people have actually been able to put their eyes and hands on the evidence.
And Jabari has made trips. He has connections to academia. He has gone to museums, and he has seen the artifacts as well. And he's improved his Medu Neter skills so he can be able to read and understand what's going on. So therein lies the problem. The man has made trips. The man has touched these artifacts. He's been to archaeological
How do you know
sites.
that?
Well, I've heard him say it, and he has never been proven to me to be a liar and an exaggerator.
I mean, have you seen any video evidence yourself?
Yes.
Or
Yes. When he first came up, but first of all, everyone knows that he has done at least 20 trips or more to Kemet. That's a fact. I've seen him doing museum tours and reading the goods. That's a fact. So I've seen him when he first came on here showing videos of actually doing these trips. So he's not making that up.
No, I
So
didn't
we
say
know
that.
that-
I didn't say he made up anything.
Yes,
I'm saying I'm asking.
Yes. I've seen video of him doing these trips. Yes. I've seen videos of him doing tours. Right. And he does have academic connections with certain people. So there is proof that he has done these things and he's not making it up. He is now expanding his Medu Neter skills to be able to understand the language a little bit better. But he definitely has enough skills to be able to read it, and he definitely has been to the site and he does do tours. So he's not just making up something random.
So
to
you
sound-
regular these when they're digging up and they're doing their work, just regular people can go to these sites.
No. Certain sites are off limits to the public, but Jabari knows a few people, so he is probably going to get a little bit more access in terms of to some of these sites.
But he's not going to get
Absolutely.
more access than the actual people
think
who
he
are
will.
working there, the people who
I
have firsthand knowledge. He's never going to have more access than them.
Well, probably this site that he could go in to get access that we as a public definitely wouldn't be able to get access to, because he's connected to people like Anthony Brown, who's actually the only American or African American site that has permission to actually be in Egypt right now. So I know that he has gone to that site and he has had access to some of those things. And I know that he knows a lot of these scholars. So he might get a little access to the basement. as opposed
Right.
to
So,
you.
but see, you believe in him, right? But when somebody else is reading works of people who were actually there, boots on the ground, you have a problem with that. You call it conjecture. But what you believe everything Jabari says.
No, it's not about believing everything Jabari said, but the brother read from Britannica. Britannica is not an archaeological site. Those are scholars who put together whatever, but that's not an archaeological site. There was no archaeological evidence. They didn't show.
He never.
any-
So the brother was
wasn't any
saying
evidence on that site. At
he
all.
didn't just read from the Encyclopedia Britannica.
He did.
No, he
That's
didn't
what he was
only
reading
read.
from.
He did not only read from the Encyclopedia Britannica, brother. He didn't.
So what else did he read from?
I'm not sure. That's why I wish he was here. It wasn't just the Encyclopedia Britannica. He read some works. He read some. He's basically regurgitating
Right.
what Egyptologists are, and these are the people
Right.
who are archaeologists. Mr. Phil Fox wrote a comment in the chat that
Yeah.
clears it all up. But see, the
Okay.
problem is your biasness
Archaeology.
won't let
What he
you,
said?
hold on. Your biasness won't let you believe the people who are actually there doing the work versus what other people say. And Jabari, I respect the brother Jabari. I've seen him come a long way. I've been watching him for a long time. But just because he says it, it does not make it gospel.
I'm not saying that, but he pulls up sources to prove his point. He's showing primary documents, secondary documents, and a whole lot of evidence to make his point. And let me address Mr. Philpott. Egyptologists are not automatically archaeologists and linguists or art historians. No, it doesn't work that way. There's several disciplines that you're describing there. Yes, an Egyptologist can be considered a general historian, but some of them are not linguists. Some of them are not archaeologists. They are just specific when it comes to the history of what they call in ancient Egypt. All of those things are several different disciplines that you're describing. But when you're pulling up someone's opinion, if that's their opinion, and we have to understand that's what it is. That doesn't qualify. What he read doesn't qualify as a primary source about what the people said.
So the Encyclopedia Britannica is an opinion piece. That's what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it's not a primary source. And what he read there, the Encyclopedia Britannica cannot be a primary source because it doesn't show the actual text. They're just commenting that what they found, they think is a small drop in the bucket.
How long you been in America?
I was born in America. I lived there up until I was about 28.
Okay, so when you were in school, when you had to do reports and stuff like that, did they tell you couldn't use the Encyclopedia Britannica, or they encouraged you to use it?
When I grew up, we actually had encyclopedias on the shelf that we had to go through. We didn't have any.
I know. I know. I still have my grandmother's encyclopedia set.
So my beef is not that it's not an academic source. It's not a primary academic source. It doesn't show the text of the people and break down the text of the people in question. So it's not a primary source. So that is just someone saying, we have done this research and we think that because everything we see as institutionalized, it does not represent the everyday quote unquote cults and practices and rituals of everyday people. That's their opinion. They're not showing any text to support that the institution doesn't represent the people and the people don't represent the institution. They want to make you think that everybody had their own little thing and the institution didn't count for much. That can't be true.
But that's not what was said. That's not that brother. That's not what was said in what he read. That wasn't what was said.
Okay, let me pull up Budge here because this is the only place I could find is to show you what he's calling onus as eating and absorbing the gods. It's commonly known as the cannibal. So let me pull this up and I'm going to read a little bit of this. This is more of a primary source because it has the Medu Neter attached to it, which we're not going to get into, but I'm just showing you this is more. So this is it here, and this is Wallace Budge. This is called The Gods of Egypt, right here, and this is on. This has 45, but it's 69 in the PDF. Are you seeing it well, or do I need to make it bigger?
Yeah, I'm not by my laptop, so I'm on my phone. So I probably you could just read,
okay.
Just read a little bit.
Okay, but it was up on the screen, so let me go ahead and just read a little bit of it because it is a lot. But this is he titled is Unas, the Slayer and Eater of the Gods. It says, pour down water from heaven the stars tremble, go about the bow breakers, the bones of Acre quake, those beneath them take to fight when they see Unas rising as a soul. Like a now, here's the word that people translate as God. That's the word nature. But we know that there's a discrepancy with people like me over what it means. Who liveth upon his fathers and feedeth upon his mothers. Unas, this is the Lord of wisdom. So this is talking about him in the Duat. If I'm not mistaken, this would be from one of the this comes from the pyramid text, right? So this is just describing him in the afterlife and how he is absorbing the powers of the Netcharu. Knoweth not his mother's name, is the noble rank of Unas in heaven, in his strength in the horizon, like Tem. His father, he begat him, he became stronger than he, are the doubles of Unas behind him, the conquered are beneath his 2 feet. His Netcharu are on him, his Uriah are on his brow. The serpent guide of Unas is before him. Seeth his soul, the spirit of flame, the powers of Unas protect him. Unas, the bull of heaven, that thrusteth with his will, living upon what cometh into being of nature, of every nature, and eating of their food, who came to fill their belly with words of power from the lake of flame. Unas, provideth with power against his spirits. Unas riseth like a mighty one, the Lord, in the seat of the hand of the nature. He is seated with his back to Geb. This is the word Geb here. Unas, with his word, with hidden of name, on this day of slaughtering the eldest gods. Unas, this is the Lord of the offering, tying the knot, making his meals for himself, right? So this is just an illustration of showing you him absorbing the powers of the nature in the afterlife. They call that the cannibal head. So this is more of a primary document stating how they would have seen the king and how his journey through the afterlife would have been, right? As opposed to just a regular person. So this would not go for anyone less than this particular status here. So something like the papyrus of Ani would be more what you would see, which I could show you a little bit of that, to show you that particular journey, right? So that just illustrates the king himself.
There's another comment that I want you to look at. BK Apologist says, the ideological, yeah, you see that comment? Between the king and his subjects was emphatically obvious.
It was somewhere up there. I did see it.
It's right. It's like two comments above Mr. Phil Fox comment.
It's the one here. The ideological chasm between the king and his subjects was emphatically obvious. Only the king crossed the great divide and ascended to heaven. What does that mean? He can come and explain what he's trying to say.
Well, he put the source right underneath it where you can find that.
Okay. The ideological chasm between the king and his subjects was emphatically obvious. Only the king crossed the great divide and ascended to heaven. So the king definitely had a special place in the afterlife. I don't have a problem with saying that the king had a special place in the afterlife. But they are, as far as ideology, there was no difference in the ideology from the ruler to anyone else. No one had any different ideology in terms of what his place was and what their place was and how things worked. No, he was special because he was special. What is wrong with saying the king is special and the king has a special place as a ruler? Shouldn't he be special and different from other people? Am I wrong, like, for saying that he should be special and
I mean, he's
above
just
other
a
people.
person. He's just a person. He's a
But this
person that other people put into a certain status. So why would he, or why would a king or queen have a special place in heaven? Like, let's be for real here.
because he was considered to be the ultimate moral authority. He was not just a king. He was considered to be a representative of the nature on earth. He was compared to them, and if you look at the iconography, as we call it, he acted out this idea of the nature in the flesh. When you see the depictions, you understand that. He was given that place, he was given that moral authority. The culture agreed with it. It wasn't forced upon the culture. There was no ego tripping that this man enslaved everyone into this. No, that was the culture from the beginning. That was it. There was no deviation from that. So I don't see the problem. They agreed on it, they dealt with it, and nobody had a problem with it.
Or
There
was
was
it
no
were the
revolution
subjects
because
told
of
this is
that.
what they had to do?
No, that was their culture. They accepted it as their culture. There's no evidence in text that they were beat into submission to say that. No, there's no
Thank
evidence of
you.
that.
Mr. Phil Fox, would you like to come join the panel?
And let me answer this question: what gives us the authority to reject? What does it say? To reject. What gives us the authority to acknowledge or reject who he would qualify as a credible source? Just the ones Zabari know. Just like anyone else, you have the right to look at something and say, "This sounds like garbage. This does not sound correct to me." A source is a source, but I can say if I think it's credible or not, just like everyone else does. If you're going to deal with me, you're going to pick a source that you think is credible to prove your point. It doesn't necessarily discount other sources. But when you have a certain level of knowledge or think you have a certain level of knowledge, then you know which sources to discount. You know when you hear words like possible and probable and we think. That's just what it is. Just like when people bring up this thing about returning sacrifice and read a whole 25-page paper, and every other word when they talk about returning sacrifice is possible and probable. And they show you one little piece of thing somewhere off that nobody can understand until that they think that's a retainer sacrifice. Everybody runs with that. That's the problem I have. You have to read and you have to understand what you're reading. When you're reading academic papers, there are things, and they're translating, there are things that you know are quotes because they read it straight. Things in parentheses are commentary to clarify quotes, and things in brackets are sometimes I think could be commentary or reconstructions of text. And you have to know academic language, and don't be fooled because you have to understand the language, and this is where people get caught up. They don't go to primary text and read primary translations, but then they argue off of commentary that what they're saying is right. And that's my problem with a lot of people who are talking. They've never pulled up a text ever on the platform. They pull up super commentary on everything. When you ask them, what do the text say? They don't know. Have you ever looked at this text? Nah, I never looked at it. Have you looked at that text? Nah, I've never seen that. You have looked at some text to be able to draw some conclusions, correct?
I didn't hear you.
Right?
What you
I
say?
said you have looked at some text to be able to draw a conclusion based on what you've seen in the text, right? You've read one or two texts, right?
Yeah, but I don't see, I just think that today most people are applying modern thinking to what the ancients would have done or what they were doing. And I just think that's impossible to do.
Here's what I say is this. I'll compromise with you. In some instances, we're doing our best to understand what things mean. In some instances, I think we just don't know. We just have no idea what a specific word or phrase means. We just don't know. We have no context for it. There's no concept in the English language for certain things. It just doesn't exist. So you can't translate, and some things are just what they call cryptic text, which means they're not supposed to make sense to you if you're not initiated into the priesthood of ancient Kemet. You're not going to understand what it's saying. You're gonna look
Well,
at the
okay,
Medulla chip and
so
you're gonna
let me
type
ask
it
you
in
a question. As
Just
far
that's
as this
it.
initiation goes, like who is initiating people into the priesthood? Where's the bloodline of the priesthood to even initiate anybody into it?
We understand in ancient times, these things usually pass from father to son. So if a father was appointed as a priest, he would then pass this down to his son. And there would be a bloodline in terms of from father to son.
I'm talking about today.
Well, today we can't jump up and say and make any bloodline claims to ancient Kemet. No Kemetic priest in 2026 does that. No one in 2026 said, I am a direct descendant and my great grandfather was Ramses II. May he live forever. No one says that. They're just simply saying we're picking up the culture because it appeals to us, and we're reading what we can read to understand the culture and practice it to the best of what is there. I don't see a problem with that because everybody else can reconstruct their culture, and it's okay because it's a popular thing. As a Christian or as a Muslim, you can reconstruct and make up something, and nobody has a beef with you. But as soon as you say Kemet or Ifa or something African, the Christians and the religious nutbags want to jump down your throat with no proof whatsoever. They don't even take the time to question. They don't want to face someone like me to come on a panel and ask me a question. They're all in the comments. And the link is in the chat, and I'm going to drop it again for those who have something to say. They can come on here and ask me what they want to ask me. And if you don't come on here and ask me, then I am not bound to respond to the comments in the chat because I'm giving everyone the opportunity now to come on and say what you want to say.
But
And I'll give them the utmost respect to show their sources and say what they want to say.
but you
But
have to
if
remember the view that you have it in. I know it didn't work for me, so I don't know if it's going to work for anybody else. But
I don't
you,
have a problem with you tonight because you came on and you asked me questions face to face and said,
no, no,
show
no.
me a
I'm
text.
talking about the link for them to join the panel. So I don't
Oh,
know. Yeah.
what they should probably do is try to come in on Worldview Wars or let them come in on Paradigm Shift. Because if they come in on mine, it probably wouldn't work. So let's see if they can come in. If not, I apologize. But it's in the chat. So try from Worldview Wars and try from Paradigm Shift and see if you could come in.
Yeah,
Because everyone has
I had to write it down and put it in the Google search, and then it took me to the StreamYard. That's how I handle it
what
all.
what 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 YouTube channel were you on? Which one?
Um,
Because you might have been on mine. Because it's on three. And all of them look the same unless you pay attention. So I don't know which one you tried to come on from. Was it Paradigm Shift?
whichever one, this link you got right here.
The link should be in all three of them. So
Yeah,
what you
the
want to
link. Yeah, I wrote the link down and I put it in the Google search bar, and it brought me to the StreamYard.
I don't I don't know, but I tell them to try wherever you was a Paradigm Shift because I can't change the view. The one on my page has the I think it's a vertical or whatever it is. The other one has it this way. The other two have it this way. So they could try and come in and see. If not, then I'll just reset it for the next stream. But what I'm saying is, there's certain people who are always in the chat when I'm on here and never come in to ask me questions. They don't set aside time to come and have a conversation. But when you watch their pages and they're putting up things about Kemet, they never do what I just did and pull up a source. They never do what I'm about to do and pull up a primary source and read a translation from a primary source. And therein lies the problem for me. You can't just read what an expert says and then argue what an expert says and not put yourself out there with a primary source such as this one for people who can read the language to say, this is what it says, because this is a primary source. I think it's too big.
Can
But
you
this is what
can you text GMG and see if he can get the brother Vans to come up here if he can?
yeah, I will text him. Give me 1 second. All right, so this is, you know this text, right, sister? You know this text here, right?
I told you I can't see. I can't see.
Oh, this is the papyrus of An.
Right. I'm familiar with that one.
This is a primary source because it has the Medu Neter here. So anyone who can read the Medu Neter can come in and say whether these translations are correct or not. I am not a Medu Neter expert. So this is what they call the 42 negative confessions, right? It says a wide strider who cometh forth from, is a Greek name, Heliopolis. I have not done wrong. Or fire embracer who came forth from Kerara. I have not robbed. So this here is wide strider from, I think that be something like Anu, right? And this is a fire embracer right here, right? So these are the texts that they translate. This is to embrace. This is the word for flame, and this is to come forth from, and this is the name of the place here, right? So, O nosy who came forth from Hermopolis, I have not stolen. O swallow of shadows who came forth from Kernet, I have not slain people. O terrible face who came forth from Sedget, I have not destroyed the food offerings, right? So this is talking about not doing wrong, not robbing, not stealing, not murdering people. Sound familiar, right? This one talks about not messing with the food offerings of the nature, or double line who came forth from the sky have not reduced measures, right? So all this will probably pertain to the offerings and whatever you have to give as far as the temple is concerned. Or he whose eyes are on flames who come forth from Asut, I have not stolen the glass property. So once again, this is dealing with offerings and things that were laid aside for the nature of not messing with those things. The burning one who came forth backwards, I have not told lies. So this is about not lying. Or break of bones who came forth from her Cleopolis, I have not stolen food. Or order of flame who came forth from Mepha, I was not son. O he of the cavern who came forth from the west, I have not fornicated with the fornicator. Right, so this is, I mean, they're probably putting a little extra on this, right? Fornication. That's probably not the right translation. But you get what they're trying to say, right? This is something about sexual immorality here. That you can't be messing around with, doing it, whatever, right?
Right.
Or he whose face is behind him who came forth from his hole. I have not caused anyone to weep. So there's even something about making people cry. Or anointed one who comes forth from the chapel, I have not disassembled. Or hot legs who came forth from twilight, I have not transgressed. Or he who is blood who came forth from the place of slaughter, I have not gone grain perfect. Know that the profiteer, or eater of entrails who came forth from the council of 30, I have not robbed a parcel of land. Or Lord of truth who came forth from the hall of true truth, I have not discussed secrets, right? So it goes deep into even saying when you're running your mouth about other people's business, all of that is forbidden. Those are things that you can't do. But I know those admonitions sound very familiar. Would you say so?
I think that shit was universal law. I think that was something that was just universal. Because apparently, in order for them to write against these things were going on.
Well, I don't. Well, clearly, would be to let you know what is acceptable behavior. But although this is in the afterlife, this is not just things for people who are dead. This is saying that throughout your life you have not done these things. So I want people to understand that. But
Right. So it was a principle. It was a principle. Those are principles that you should have lived by when you were living, and you should be able to confess those things after you pass. So,
thank you so much. I'm glad you understand that.
Right, yeah. So what it says to me is that all of these things were happening, and it had to be it had to be some laws established about it.
Listen, I'm not saying Kemet was perfect, but I think I could say we could give them some credit for being a little bit more disciplined than other people. It wasn't just running around and doing anything. They really had the courage of their convictions to live this type of life. They really believe that.
Hold on,
They didn't
BK
just they
apologist.
didn't
I
just say it.
agree. I agree. I don't think one thing came from the other. I think that it was just universal law since the beginning of time.
I would agree with you, like, but when you see a direct transmission, when the Greeks came in and started to absorb the Kemetic culture, and then they started to write and be involved in Bibles and Christianity, then we know that there was a definite transmission between the two, which would have been the Greeks. Because the Greeks would have taken these things, absorbed it into their culture, and later on passed it up. Well, the Greeks and Romans, because the Ptolemies are really Romans. And Alexander was the Macedonian. So that is the Greco-Romans that are talking. So when they decided that they wanted to legalize Christianity, they took these different things and mixed it up in Christianity so it would appeal to people. So they took the sun worship and the this worship and the that worship and put that all together into one and made it Roman Catholicism. So people would see it as familiar and they could retain their power that way. Because you do see ancestor worship and ancestor veneration in the Roman Catholic Church. Correct, Light? You see it all the time.
I mean, you see it everywhere.
Right. But I'm saying,
You see it all over the globe.
right. But that is something that is specifically African. And we know it's African. We know that's where they got it from. We know
Well,
Greek
I
culture.
would.
Let's
So
put it that way.
you think it's specifically African when you see it all over the globe?
Well, I would say ancestor veneration is something that I would think started in Africa and spread everywhere else.
Oh,
I would say that. I would say that the Greeks never had any value. They stole from other people. We definitely know that they Greekified ancient Kemet. We know that. And that was a big source of a lot of their knowledge. And one of the centers of Christianity to begin with was Alexandria. So we could definitely say that they took a couple things.
hey, brothers,
Asar
the link is in the chat. You brothers could come up here and join the panel. Let's talk about it.
well, if anyone is having trouble getting in to the chat, let me know. But King Hercules in the chat, Hurt man, come up and hit the panel, man, because you look like you got something to get off your chest. So hit the link, man, and come up here and let's have it. Let's talk about it. BK apologists. If you want to come up here and talk about it, you can hit the link, bro. I'm not. You see, I'm calm today. I had the box yesterday. I had the box yesterday. I had to do that. So today is the day where we can be calm and have a better conversation. Right? So we're having. Let me ask you this question because I'm just curious. Do you subscribe to any particular religion?
No, I think that once you start to look at all of these spiritual texts, right? I think that all of them say the same thing, just in different words. And so
Okay.
I don't subscribe to any one religion. I don't, even when it comes to Christianity, I personally do not believe that Christ came to establish a religion. I believe these people established a religion around Christ.
So do you believe that Christ was an actual historical character, or he was an archetype that we should follow?
I didn't hear you. What you say?
Do you think that Christ was an archetype that we should follow? He was a literal person who existed. Some people are coming in.
I don't know. I wasn't there. But when you look at the way Christ carried himself, right? He was like right now, let's just pull it into 2026. The Christians disregard, drug addicts, prostitutes, whatever. Christ did not do that to these people. He didn't shun these people. He actually tried to teach them the consciousness.
You see, that's why I like you, because you're gonna be honest and say Christians running around here dealing with other Christians and saying that they love Jesus, and Jesus was hanging out with the prostitutes.
No, I just use it. No. Let's not do that, Jose, because I'll just use it as an example. because I know some really dope Christians, and they walk in Christ consciousness,
Okay, well,
and then I know some fake ones, just like I know some brothers who uh believe in Kemet and they be doing a bunch of BS. So it's gonna be people who are faking and frauding in every sector.
okay, I'll say this. Let me speak for myself because Sister Light did not say that. I have an issue with people running around here proclaiming to do what Christ did and then thumping the Bible and having an elitist attitude that, according to the book, Christ never had. Christ was not an elitist. Christ hung out with the people nobody else wanted to hang out with. Because when someone is sick, you take them to the hospital to see a doctor, correct? When someone is well, you leave them alone. So a lot of Christians want to hang out with their own people and don't want to go to the sick people and talk to the people who need it. When they do talk to them, they do 35,000 scriptures and judge you into the ground and tell you you're going to die.
But that's because those people aren't living, that those people aren't walking in Christ consciousness. Those people are pretending to be. Those are the people who are pretending to be. And it gives Christians who are actually walking in the consciousness a bad name. I hear this thing about black churches all the time. But where I'm from, the black churches absolutely do for the community. A lot for the community. They actually help rebuild the community that was all but abandoned and burnt down.
I have no onus to say that the black church did not help and was not a help back then. But we're in 2026, and I think we can move past that. We can do better for me. We don't have to be Christians to help each other anymore.
Right, so and these churches that are doing for the community, you don't have to be Christian. Like there's the church right up the block from me. Every Friday, they have truckloads of food that they give to the community. Listen, while the kids are going to school in front of the church, they can go pick up a bag for lunch. They give them books. They do a lot for the community. So when I hear, we do know that there's churches that absolutely do nothing for the community, but there's churches that do a lot for the community.
And I'm not against that.
Abyssinian Church held Dr. Ben's funeral. Where was the conscious community for that?
Well, let me be honest with you. And
come on,
I'm gonna say some people here, and then I'm gonna allow Brother Hercules to speak. But my personal beef with the church is my personal experience. I had a bad experience with the church. They happen to be black.
Oh,
that's my personal beef and my personal gripe. Hold on, who hurt you?
Stop crying. We all got personal beef with the church.
Hey.
You know what? I got a personal beef with. I got a problem.
We're not doing that, bro. If you're gonna act like that, then don't come on here acting like that.
Peace, Paul.
Get you out of here. We're not doing that. Right? Let me give you 2 seconds to calm down. Brother Hercules, let's talk. Talk to me, Brother Hercules. I see you in the chat talking real spicy. So talk to me. Get it out. I know you want to get it out. Like I was yesterday.
What's going on, man?
Light is a good sister. We're having a good conversation. So
I mean, there's a lot of stuff y'all been covering. So it's like, I don't know. One of the things I said in the chat when y'all was talking about the 42 confessions, the guy was saying that that Moses didn't get that from Kemet, and that's a straight lie because it's been proven that Moses was an Egyptian priest, and if he was a priest, that means he knew that, and when he left out, he took those commandments. Gerald Massey proved that in his book, Ancient Egypt, Light of the World. Albert Boyd Kuhn showed that in his book, Who's This King? Who's this King of Glory? They show that that those first that stuff from the Torah came out of Kemet. It was just reshaped until their religious perspective. But they didn't make that stuff up on their own. They didn't get it on their own. They lived in Kemet. For what, 200 years, 100, something like 300 years. So
No,
we
no,
know
no,
where they got the information from. So you can't be
Hold on,
saying that
Hercules.
you can get it from there.
Now, Hercules, now let's make a distinction. For me, I'm going to make this distinction. Moses was not a historical character. So there's a biblical ideology of what happened, and there's actual history. So I am not going to mix up Moses to say that Moses was a historical character. No. But if we're going to the narrative did mention Moses.
I think, Jose, let me step in for a minute. I think that's the reverse, right, of the question that I asked you about Amen and, all of these other figures that y'all call Netchers or whatever. When I ask you, could they possibly have been actual humans that walked the earth and that became deified over time, right? Because we're talking thousands of years. How do you know that Moses wasn't a real person? How do you know that? This brother just said he was hold on. This brother just said he was a Kemetic priest.
According to the narrative.
You don't,
according to the narrative. I think that in 2026, no historian is going to make an argument that Moses was a historical person. And I could be wrong. I haven't read all historians, but I think it's a general consensus that some of these figures were not.
Wait a minute, Jose, Marmello. I got to get you, because you just said last night. You just said last night on the show with Easy Bands that you don't follow the scholarly consensus because they be making up stuff. Am I wrong?
But listen,
so wait a minute. So you follow the scholarly consensus when it's hold up. Wait a minute. Yes, so you follow the scholarly consensus when it's convenient for you, is what you're saying.
Well, I don't.
When it agree with you, is what you're saying.
What I do is what everyone. What everyone.
No. We talking about you. Y'all look.
If the consensus agrees with me,
let me tell you what I don't like. Let me tell you what I don't like. Let me tell you what I don't like. See, this is what y'all do. I ask a question as it pertains to you, your worldview, what you got going on, what you believe, what you don't believe, and y'all say, well, Christians this. We ain't talking about Christians right now. We ain't talking about what everybody else do. We talking about what Jose Francis do, Uncle Jose Francis. You said last night that scholarship, the consensus of scholarship that Easy Bands was talking about was fugazi. So
no.
Hold up. Don't make me pull that up, Jose, because it's 4 hours that I'm
He said it again tonight that the Encyclopedia Britannica is not a primary source.
That's what you said. That's what you said. But you also said you didn't care what archaeologists said, what Egyptologists said. Now, Egyptologists got some. They put some work in to get the title of Egyptologist, but you said you don't care what they said. So all of a sudden, because it's convenient for you when it comes to Moses, you saying what the consensus say. I need you to be consistent, my brother.
Here's my answer to that. I said
I need you to be. Are you gonna be consistent or not? Are you gonna be consistent or not?
Let me tell you what I said, DMG. I said the consensus can be right. The consensus can be wrong.
Okay, so are the consensus right? The consensus of archaeologists right when they say Kemet or the Medu Neter is a dead language, that it's more that we don't know about Kemet than what we know. Are they right or wrong?
Wrong.
It was clear that for a long time Kemet was a dead language, and we're now reconstructing it. And doing our best to understand it. So
wait a minute,
I don't have a disagreement. No. I'm saying what you're saying, and I've said it myself, that it is definitely.
Hold on. Right, I got a witness, Jose. Easy Bands.
It's right for them to say that.
Easy Bands. Welcome to the show. Shout out to my man BK. Easy Bands. Do you remember Jose poo-pooing the scholarly consensus last night?
Yes, sir. We were
I
laughing.
didn't poo-poo the scholarly consensus.
So now he want to get up here and he want to say the scholarly consensus says this about Moses. I said it. Which one is it, bro?
I said it.
These guys are hilarious, man. He kept on saying conjecture. That's all conjecture. It doesn't matter. This and that, right? He was as you know, you discarded the scholarship I came with. You even discarded what I was reading from Encyclopedia Britannica. You're saying that's all conjecture. So we don't want to hear none of that from you. Now you can't come.
So is it conjecture? Why ain't it conjecture when it comes to the existence of Moses?
You can tell me it's conjecture if you want. I don't got to beef with you telling me that.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you because it sounds like
you can say it's conjecture if you want.
It sounds like you like no. Hear me out. It sounds like you like the scholarly consensus when it got continuity with what you want it to be. But when it can say something else, you disagree with it, and it's just conjecture. Come on, Jose, I need you to be consistent. Either we rocking with the scholarly consensus or we not. But real quick, Jose, mute up, Jose, mute up. I got to go to my man BK, and then we're going to go to my man Easy Bands.
All right. Okay.
All right, so peace to Easy Bands and everyone else.
Peace, brother,
peace. Peace. So 2 quick things. 1, I don't like being called a liar. All right? You can say that I'm wrong, or I don't know what I'm talking about, but to say that I'm lying, you're impugning my character. And
who called you a liar,
bro? This guy Hercules.
Oh.
What?
You know what I mean? It's like you don't even know me like that, bro. Like it's disagree, say I'm off the wall. I'm cool with all the critique. But to say I'm lying, you gotta know me, bro. To say that. You know what I mean? So it's like, and as people of color, you know what I mean? If we're gonna just throw accusations like that, how are we gonna build anything? You know what I mean? So it's like, come on, that's not cool. Second,
oh, go ahead, my bad.
Second, you know what I mean? The reason why I'm saying that the 10 Commandments don't draw from negative confessions, because it's a category error, right? The Mosaic Law is a different category than the Perab Emhiru. It's 2 different things. And I could get into it later. I could do a whole presentation on it, but I just want to say those 2 things. That's it.
Okay, GK, I would definitely love for us to come on and have this conversation because I've been wanting to talk to you for a long time.
Yeah,
and I realize it doesn't have to be contentious. We can have a back and forth anytime. So DMG can set that up, and we could do that. I would definitely appreciate that because I think that there's something to me. There's some things that you're getting that to me is not necessarily the full picture. I think that we need to go through some text and look at the text and then judge by the text. And not
everybody has their blind spots, right? Everybody has their blind spots. And I'll do this as well. And only because you mentioned it today, based on what happened to you and your church experience, what I would like to do is what probably should have been done for you a long time ago. I want to apologize to those people that did that to you, Jose. You know what I mean? Because that wasn't a good representation of what Christ or the gospel is, bro. I am sorry they did that to you. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, I apologize for them, all right?
Hey, Jose, I'm sorry too, bro.
I missed it, but yeah.
You see? And you know what? And let me tell you something. This is why I can't stand you, DMG. This is why I can't stand you. Because I want to come on here and curse with every Christian. And as soon as I come on here, DMG gonna hit me with, an auntie story. DK gonna apologize. Y'all not make it easy for me. Y'all not make it easy for me to go in on the Christians, and I don't like that.
Well, it should. If you really feel the way you feel, it should be easy for you, bro. Like it's easy for me to call lies out about Christianity.
Sure,
it's easy.
No.
And listen, I love my comedic Afrocentric brothers and sisters, but it ain't nothing they can say to weaken what I'm gonna say. So obviously, if we making it hard for you, we must be tugging at their heart, bro. And not we ain't tugging at your heart. Somebody else might be tugging at your heart.
Despite what they think, DMG, I'm not a heartless animal. People think that
this comes from the man who wanted to be contentious with me, though, right?
Yeah, BK, I noticed he said it don't have to be contentious, but at first he wanted it to be contentious.
I remember clearly. Now he can change his mind. That's good. You know what I mean? He's free. I'm not gonna hold him to that.
DMG, I was raised by a human mother, so I'm not an animal. I act like a beast a lot, but I do have feelings, and I probably shouldn't show them on here. Because now people can take advantage of my feelings.
But bro, it's not even. Humans have feelings, bro. That's not true.
Yeah, but I can't show you my feelings.
We don't get down like that.
I'm not going to do that, BK. I can't
we ain't going to do that to you, bro.
Dang, we lost Paul, man. Paul, come back on if you can, bro.
We ain't going to do that to you, Jose.
But Jose, let me just say this: the sentiment
yes,
that BK, let me just say this: the sentiment that BK apologist just gave to you, and also DMG, brother DMG, about us being sorry. I stand on that too, man. Whatever happened, I didn't even hear the story. But, you know, if it's affected you in a way that's driven you away from the Bible or whatever it may be, or even just any negative, like I don't want to see anything negative happening to nobody. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of our tenets that we stand on as, you know, Bible believers or Christians or whatever it may be. Even the Hebrew Israelites, right? We're supposed to forgive. We're supposed to love each other and so on and so forth. We're supposed to have camaraderie. And even, you know, so and that's one of the things that made Christianity so successful, is that we would, even in times of, say, warfare and stuff like that, where, you know, people were warring against each other, the Christians would actually take care of their enemies, brother. And that's why people started looking at Christianity and saying, like, wow, these people, even though we hate them, we spit on them, you know, we ridicule them, but look, when we need something, they're here for us, right? They have open arms. And so that's
and you're talking about actual Christianity, not the distorted Eurocentric.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. I just wanted to make that.
Jose, you know me and
been Eurocentric. The fuck?
No, it hasn't.
You know, me and DMG didn't always get along. I don't know if you know that history, Jose. DMG was the ops with me.
No.
We didn't talk. We wasn't friends at first.
I didn't hear that story.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to put you on, bro. Me and BK, cool. We was not cool, bro.
Not cool at all, bro.
I did a whole presentation on BK.
Wow.
Well,
I just want to back chat. Yeah,
I just want to say this. I'm loving all this brotherly love up here. I'm loving it.
Right?
I was trying to take it easy on Jose, you know, but then you brothers came in like, rah, okay.
Yeah, you know, I gotta show my brother some tough love, but now I gotta show my brother Herc some tough love. Herc, this is what I need to know from you. You just said it's always been Eurocentric. Where did Christianity start, brother?
Thank you.
You keep trying to bring it back to where it started.
No.
You asked me a question.
I just need an answer. I just need an answer, brother. Where did it start?
You asked me a question.
Yeah, and I just need the answer. We
know that. All right, we know the shit didn't start in Europe. We know that.
Hey, hurt. Language, my brother. Where did it start?
Not in Europe. In the Levant, you can say some say the Levant, some say Africa. So let
me ask you this. So I got a follow up. How can something that didn't start in Europe how can it always have been Eurocentric?
Because the Europeans are the ones.
No, Jose, he a big boy.
Listen to the question.
Jose, he a big boy. He don't need you to answer for him. He a big boy. Right. Hey, this is a black belt martial artist. He don't need nobody to fight his battle. I need to know how something that didn't start in Europe, how was it always Eurocentric?
Because it ain't. We know it ain't African centered.
I didn't ask was it African because I didn't mention Africa.
It has the same elements as.
I did not mention Africa. I asked a simple question. I don't know why you throwing Africa out there. I don't know why y'all can't just get to what I be asking instead of trying to compare and contrast. I'm simply asking.
Because you can't answer. No, you trying to put it into a box.
How can something that didn't start in Europe, how could it have always been Eurocentric? Those was your words, not mine.
It has the same elements as the people from the Levant and Mediterranean history and theology it has in the beginning. It has nothing to do with anything that's African. So
who is talking about? Hold up. I gotta mute you because you're playing with me. I gotta mute you because you're playing with me, bro. I'm trying to be cool, but you're playing with me. I ain't mentioned Africa. I said, how was it always Eurocentric?
I just told you. I just said it.
All right, let me move on. Herc, by the way, everybody, Herc got a presentation coming up this weekend where we gonna get into this. But this is what Jose.
Can I answer the question?
If you gonna answer it, because Herc ain't answering.
I did
Here's
answer
my answer to that.
All you told me, Herc, is that it ain't Afrocentric. That's all you told me.
I said it has the same elements as those from the Mediterranean. So what are you talking about?
Herc, what are you talking about, brother? Herc, he asked you a question.
Let me give him the answer he wants to hear. Let me give DMG.
Hold on, Herc. You made a claim.
No, let Easy Bands rock. Let Easy Bands rock.
Herc, you made a claim and said that Christianity is Eurocentric, right? It's always been Eurocentric. That's what
he said. It's always been Eurocentric.
Right. So the brother DMG asked you a question because we all know where it started. It started in Palestine or Israel, right? It started over there in the Levant. We know where it started. We know the people that were involved. Hold on. We know the people that were involved. All those people were Hebrew Israelites, right? They were Jews. We know that they weren't white people. They weren't Europeans. So these are the people that the story is about. These are the people that actually lived the story and started the theology. So how could it be Eurocentric when it's created by Jews, Hebrew Israelites in the Levant?
And my man said it was always Eurocentric, as in it started.
Maybe we need to define the word always. Maybe we're missing.
Yeah, let's see what always mean. I want to see what always mean right quick. Let me go to good old Google and get the definition.
Easy Bands.
Let me get the definition of always, because I don't know why people. Hey, I got to stop telling people I got a GED because they starting to think I'm slow.
Easy Bands. Hold it.
Easy Bands.
What you're going to say? Just remember, I'm going to hold you to that same standard, Jose.
Everybody,
let me answer Easy Bands real quick, DMG.
Because I want to get to my man Paul and see what he got to add, but I got to read this definition right quick. The word always is an adverb that generally means on every occasion, at all times, and continuously. It is the direct opposite of never. So I still have the question, and it's rhetorical at this point. How can something that didn't start in Europe always be Eurocentric? My man Paul, talk to me, bro.
Eric, just say it wasn't, man. You just misspoke. Just say that.
You got to unmute your mic, Paul.
So that means you can't be objective, brother. If you can't even admit that, then come on, what are we doing here?
Well,
hold on, everybody. We're going to Paul, and then we're gonna go back around. Go ahead, Paul.
My bad, man. My phone's moving a little slow. I just basically came in to see what was going on, and my man, I'm not a Christian, right? But I respect all religions. But anytime I hear somebody start crying about what Christianity did to them, I just want to say, put your big boy drawers on. I was a kid and I believed in all this stuff and Jesus and this and that, and asked the same questions. Why did this one have to die? If God, and why? I come to realize that this is just life cycle. It's just part of life. Whether God's plan or nature or whatever. And yes, I've been in churches where people have been gossiping about other people, and I'm listening to this mess. I might have even been one of those people that they gossiped about. That crap happened in high school. I don't know what the dude's story is about how the church let him down. But all I can say is, bro, suck it up. People talk like the Christians say, they talked about Jesus. They did Jesus wrong. What makes you any better? Stop crying about stuff like that, yo.
Damn.
I'm trying to figure this thing out with this. Well, I have a personal thing with the church. Well, you know what? I could say, I'm mad at God for taking my father. I'm mad at God for taking my mother. Or I could say, I can take it even a step further. I'm mad at the universe. What the hell am I going to do about it? I can't change nothing. They're gone. People are going to leave. So I'm trying to understand, what is this the church hurt me thing? What is what people in the church hurt me?
Do you want me to answer you?
Yeah, please, by all means. Go ahead.
Well, since we can't curse, I'm not going to do that. But I have the right to my feelings. If you don't like it, that's your personal beef. I'm not on here to justify that to you. You yelling and screaming all on the mic. Grow up, put on your big boy dress. So what? I'm not impressed.
So you're not going to answer the question.
Paul, give me a second.
Answer it, man.
Paul, give me a second. Hold on.
I didn't say
Jose, you
I
said
didn't
you
say I
asked the
do.
brother. Hold on, Paul. You asked the brother if you want him to answer. If you wanted him to to answer him, but then you turn around and come with that. Come on, we all grown up
No,
here.
it's
Don't do
okay.
that.
It's okay. It's okay. He don't have to. He's right. But you didn't have to. But don't interrupt me to say. But don't interrupt me to say. Well, you want me to answer that? I'm not going to. Well, then let me continue my rant then.
Right, let Paul continue because we're gonna go back around because I'm still.
Nah, I don't want to
BK.
go back and forth, man. I was having fun with it. Go ahead, man. I'm just bullshit.
Right,
but I
on,
really
right
did
on,
want to
Paul.
know. But I really did want to know what did the church do to him. But he don't want to answer it.
My
So
answer,
Right on, Paul.
like,
I appreciate you hitting the panel,
my
bro.
answer is this, and I'm gonna say this. I don't like your attitude. I don't like you coming up here buffing up your chest. So that's my answer.
Hey,
You're not having no, bro.
Man, come
That's my
on,
answer. I have
Jose.
a right to do that. If you got to beef with that, fuck them up
listen,
later. I'm not
Jose,
doing
we
it.
gonna get down to brass tacks because you did this show to call out Easy Bands. Easy Bands is on the panel. But what I want to do, I want to ask my man BK a question. BK, considering the definition I read for always,
Yes.
what if somebody said Islam was always pro-black, what would your answer be?
Well, that would not be true because of its origin.
So
and they also had a little thing called was it the Arab slave trade?
The
that kind of hurts that claim a little. Yeah.
So if I say Christianity was always anything, if I say it was always African, I would have to prove that because always means from the beginning, in perpetuity.
Right.
Like it's the opposite of never.
Right.
From then
you would
to
have
now.
to prove that it came from Africa. If it's always
Not
African.
that it's
No, that's not what he said. That's not what he said.
Not that it's no. My man, and look, I rock with her. But you know, if you say it, I just gotta figure out where we coming from. He said he didn't say it became Eurocentric. He didn't say Europeans co-opted it. Europeans distorted. He say it was always Eurocentric, even though it didn't start in Europe. And I'm hollering at my man BK because y'all know BK is that he that guy. So
stop it.
He's the Don of urban apologetics.
Here we go.
So I just want to know if you say a thing was always like I can say that I was always black,
and you were,
or that I can't say that I always had these Kemetic tattoos on my arm because I didn't always have them.
Right.
So when you say something is always something, you can't say because it shared the tenets of this and this. No, if it was always that, it makes sense that it would have had its origin in that, especially when we're saying something was always part and parcel to a place, it would make sense that it started in that place.
Can I ask you a question, DMG?
I need you to explain
I want
to me.
answer you. I'm going to explain to you.
Jose.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking the question. I need you to tell me how something that didn't start in Africa always be Afrocentric?
Can I answer you now, DMG?
Can you give me a yes or no?
Can I answer your question about Christianity?
Yeah.
No. You can answer that after you answer this. Can something that didn't start in Africa always be Afrocentric? Yes or no?
Why not? Yes. It's possible.
So from that standpoint, Christianity can be Afrocentric, can't it?
Can I answer the question on DMG?
I need a yes or no on that last question, Jose.
Hold on.
Can Christianity be Afrocentric, considering how many Africans is Christian and how long they've been Christian?
I'm going to say no on that one.
Okay,
because
and you know why you're going to say no?
I never said Christianity was Afrocentric.
You know why you're going to say no? Because you have a bias towards Christianity. You just said something that could be. You just literally said something. Hold up, Jose. I don't want to mute you because you my man, but I will if I'm gonna keep getting interrupted. You just said something that didn't start in Africa, could always have been Afrocentric. You said that.
No. I said it can be Afrocentric. Not could have. I didn't use.
You said it can't be.
I said it can be. I didn't use the word always. I said yes, it could be Afrocentric.
My goodness, man.
I didn't say always.
Yo,
don't misquote me. Quote me properly now.
You know what's funny? What's funny with that is that John Mbiti says that Christianity in Africa is so old that it can be rightly described as a traditional and African religion. If we're going to go by how people are defining always.
But you know what, BK, he not John Henry Clark or Dr. Ben, so what he say don't make no difference.
Pretty much.
I'll say this to you, BK. I'll say this to you, BK.
Yes, sir.
I can definitely say that it is a tradition that goes back far enough to be considered a tradition in Africa. I don't have no beef for that.
Okay, but yo, what? But why don't you just be,
But it's not indigenous. There's a difference.
Hold on.
Why don't we
no one's making that clear?
Jose, you know what? Where things are going left is that you're not. You and Hercules, you guys are not being honest, bro. Why don't we just be honest about something, like something that's literally in front of your face? We just explained to you. You guys know this. The religion, the faith starts in the Middle East, in Palestine or Israel. It was created by the Jewish people. Hold on. It was created by the Hebrew Israelites who came out of Egypt, who became a people in Egypt, actually. You know what I'm saying? And it was created by those people. It wasn't created by no Europeans, man. So why can't you guys just acknowledge that?
Christianity.
Yes, Christianity.
Yeah, Christianity
was not. It was not. No. It was not institutionalized by ancient people.
Jose.
No, it was not.
It was. So listen, Jose.
No,
listen.
It was
You're
not.
talking about. I know what he's talking about. He's talking about the Roman Empire, making it a state religion. That's what you're talking about. But that didn't change it.
Christianity existed way before that.
It already existed for Greeks. Brother, listen.
Yes, Christianity.
Christianity already
is an institution.
Jose.
Not the same thing.
Jose.
It's definitely not the same thing.
Christianity already existed for 400 years before the Roman Empire instituted
the same thing.
Hold on, bro. It is the same.
That's why you are being disingenuous at this point. Because you're not acknowledging that those are two different types of Christianity.
Hold on.
That's why this straight cap. No, that's a straight cap.
Let me speak.
As he said, it's not the same thing.
Hold on, Jose, we coming to you. I mean, Hurt, we coming to you. You're going to be able to break it down because I want everybody to get off the panel except Easy Bands. I'm going to go to everybody and let them get a parting shot so we can leave it to Light, Easy Bands, and Jose. But, matter of fact, let me do that now. Paul, you got any parting comments? Paul might be otherwise occupied.
I go.
BK, you got any parting comments?
Real quick. We got to define terms. Christianity, right? There's a thing in the end. It's called a suffix, the ity. Anytime you have an ity, it means the state of being. The word Christianos in the Greek means anointed. So Christianity is being in the state of being like the anointed one. You mean to tell me that people weren't trying to emulate Jesus until the Roman Empire codified it? That's my question.
I'm saying
that's what Christianity is. That's what the word means, bro.
To me, BK.
But Jose,
Christianity. Hold on, Hercules. Christianity is Roman Catholicism as far as the institution of Christianity.
History will disagree with you.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a
history,
lie.
Not me. History disagrees with you.
That's a lie. Yeah.
So.
Well, that's my view.
Your opinion is a lie, though, and that's what I'm saying. Why can't we just be honest, bro? Like, why can't we just be honest about the fact?
My opinion could definitely be considered a lie, but that's my view.
Yeah, but I would actually
before.
Easy Bands. Let me let Hurt give his parting shots, and then we're gonna leave it to you, Light, and Jose, because this was Jose calling you out. So.
All right, cool.
Hurt, get your parting shots, brother, and let the people know what you're gonna be putting down on Saturday. With no pushback from me.
Oh, seriously? Like finally?
Yeah, because you coming on to do a presentation. If you hit the panel, get to it. But if you're gonna do a presentation, I'm not gonna be up there objecting to it.
All right. No. Oh, I thought you talking about. I thought you talking about right now. But yeah, I understand the presentation. Yeah. But no, yeah. Saturday, y'all. I'm definitely. I'm going into the origins of European Christianity. Why is it a European religion? You know, why we say it's a white man's religion? And what Jose was saying was that you guys are not making this distinction between the two. When the Romans took over and before the Romans took over, it was a complete separate, different understanding of what Christianity was. And that's I don't understand. And that's what Jose was trying to say. And that's what I was trying to say is that you had a complete different, because it was about the gnosis then. It was more Gnosticism then, because you don't even have the Pistis Sophia. You guys don't even read the Pistis Sophia. So, you know what I'm saying? All the other gospels that they kicked out, that was a part of what was in the beginning. So it was a separate thing than what happened when the Romans took over. And you could see the split. And you know what the funny thing is? When I was looking stuff up, I just happened to type it in the AI, and that shit said yes. It is a complete European religion. So the argument for me, is just it's useless because it's already been proven. But I'm gonna go through it. I'm gonna show you the presentation, because I watched the video. The brother you had on the other day, I watched this video. I forgot his name. The pastor you had on the other day, DMG.
Damon Richardson.
Yeah. I watched his videos and a couple of other videos of people they saying is Christianity European or white man's religion. So I watched them Jones. It was interesting. It was interesting, but you know what I'm saying, they didn't answer any of the problems that we have with the Greeks and with the Romans influence. They didn't address none of that. They just went through the scriptures. But you know, I watched them videos to try to search for like a different answer or something like that. But it was nothing that I didn't.
Hurt. Not to cut your wisdom. Watch tomorrow the Black Church Files episode 2. I got B. Wash coming on, and we're gonna talk about Christianity being in West Africa before colonization.
All right, y'all.
All right, man. Looking forward to Saturday. Hey, Easy Bands, BK, you in the audience, be watching Saturday for her presentation, because we're going to open it up after the presentation. He going to be ready to rock.
All right, bet. I wish, all right, we'll wait for that. But everything you just said was wrong, because even right now, if you Google it or put it in AI and ask AI, is Christianity a European religion? It's going to tell you no. It might even say hell no. But anyways, so, all right, so the earliest centers of Christianity were Jerusalem, Antioch, Alexandria, Edessa. All of these are in the Middle East or North Africa, not Europe. All right. So these were the earliest. And him to say that it was a completely different thing from what we have today from the Roman Empire, etc., it's just nonsense. All right. I'm waiting for him to bring that evidence or whatever it may be, and we'll decide.
Your screen is up, Easy Band. So you can go ahead.
Yeah, the screen is up, and I'm about to read it right now. Yes, so this is just to show you.
Okay, Easy Bands, before you go, hey family, I appreciate y'all. Y'all three keep rocking it out. Light gonna just make sure y'all get equal time to speak. And I'm gonna go ahead and go up there with the queen to listen to the video. Easy Band, salute, brother. Jose, you know you my man, 100 grands. Light, you know you my sis. Y'all hold it down. Appreciate it.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man. So this is Acts 11, verse 26, right? And it says, and when he had found him, he brought him to Antioch. For a whole year, they met with the church and taught a great many people. And in Antioch, the disciples were first called Christians. Okay, this is in the Bible. You get me? So the whole argument about the Christianity changed, or it wasn't even called Christianity at first. All right, yeah, it might have been called the Way, but we see the use of the term Christian even in the Bible itself. So now, what's that?
Show me in that Bible. Oh, sorry, it did say that. Sorry, it did say
right
Christian.
here.
My bad. It did say Christian. I was tripping for a second. All right, cool.
Right here, you see it?
It did say that. It is.
You see it, right?
Right. Yeah, yes, sir.
And in Antioch, the disciples were first called Christians. Okay, So
I see that.
we have that there, right? So now my question to you, brother, is I don't understand like why it would be better for us to have a good conversation if at least we know that, you know, we can be objective about stuff that's right there in front of us. But it seems like you guys can't be objective about anything. Your bias is like clouding your judgment, and therefore stopping us from having even a conversation. I even wanted to get into what you were talking about, but we can't even get there because you guys can't even admit where this religion started, where this faith started, who was a participant in it. You're saying no, it wasn't them that started it.
Can I answer you?
No.
Can I answer you? I'm making a distinction between them calling themselves Christians and the institution that later became known as Christianity. I'm saying they were called that mockingly and they accepted the name Christian. But Christianity, as we know it, came much later through the Roman Empire. That is what I'm saying. I'm making a distinction. But hold on, I'm making a distinction between early Christians and the institution that we now know as Christianity. It was not that then.
So
it became that later because they wanted control. So they mixed in all these things and called it Christianity. It's not. Okay. It wasn't the same thing that the original Christians would have practiced.
Let me respond.
In my view.
Let me respond. So, have you heard of the Didache? Have you heard of the Didache before?
The dedicated ones? Is that what you said?
The Didache. It's basically a set of instructions. It's basically a set of instructions of how to perform the liturgy for priests and how to run the church, basically. And this.
No, I'm not familiar with that. No, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah. So the earliest copy was found in I think it's Alexandria, right? Written by Coptic Egyptians, right? Scribed in Greek. Okay. So now you have the Didache with church instructions and how to run the church, etc. Right? You also have the letters of Paul writing to different churches in different areas. This is in the Bible, actually. You find him writing to different churches and telling them how to operate, how to perform services, who to let in the church, who not to let in the church, etc., stuff like that. So all these rules that you see today in the church today are traced. We can trace those all the way back, brother, to before the Roman Empire accepted Christianity as a state religion. Now, before Christianity was accepted as a state religion, it was persecuted by the same Romans for over 300 years, brother. And then I think after 400 years, the emperor decided to accept and acknowledge it and make it turn it into a state religion. Now, if you're talking about if you're talking about the churches, the way they're built and stuff like that today, that has got nothing to do with the doctrine and the theology. The theology has always been the same. There's always been a belief in the Trinity. All right. Now, in terms of the Greek philosophy added to that, that's just a way to understand the claims that are made in the Bible, except about the Trinity. That's all Greek philosophy does. It doesn't recreate the story or recreate the doctrine. So let me pose a question. Do you recognize that when you're talking about the institution of Christianity, Roman Catholicism, they syncretize several other things that you would consider to be pagan? No,
but hold on, let me finish. That should not necessarily be acceptable Christian practices according to your book.
No.
So you don't. So hold on. So you don't think that when you're looking at Roman Catholicism, it's okay for them to be praying to statues?
Okay, so hold on.
That's acceptable biblically.
So hold on, Jose.
Hold on. I've answered my question. Is praying to statues accepted biblically? Yes, they do.
They don't pray to statues, bro. They do not worship. They do not worship statues. Jose, what are you talking about, bro?
Roman Catholics do pray.
Why do you have to lie, man? Why do you have to lie?
Why am I lying?
But Roman Catholic, hold on, brother.
Statues hold power.
Catholicism and Christianity is two different things.
No. So sister, don't even let him do that, because now he's gonna try to play the divide and conquer game and try to like distort and muddy the waters.
No, but I'm just saying, I'm saying, Easy Bands, Catholicism and Christianity are two different things. Like, and anybody with eyes can see that.
So let me ask you something. No, they're not. They're not.
Now hold on.
Let me tell you something.
Hold on, Easy Band. Hold on 1 second.
Hold on.
Easy Band.
Catholicism. I just want to show you something, bro. Hold on,
brother. Hold on.
I was just responding to her, man. Just let me respond. Bro.
But give me 2 seconds.
Let me just finish, bro.
I want to keep her right there, because what you said
right quick.
What you said is a key
okay,
observation.
well, you know, both of y'all can't speak at the same time. So, Easy Band, let Jose respond to me, and then you can respond after.
But what you said is a pivotal point. What they're doing in Roman Catholicism is something that Christians can speak against and say these are things that the Bible says you ain't supposed to be doing. You're not supposed to be praying to statues and having saints and venerating your ancestors. That's not part of Christianity. So this is why I like to tell them, when you talk about institutionalized Christianity, that is Roman Catholicism. That is the institution of Christianity as it was put forth. So that is real institutionalized Christianity. Other things are not institutionalized Christianity. So I would agree with you, but only in a sense to say that form of Roman Catholicism is the institution that later became Christianity, as opposed to reading the book and following Christ and understanding what Christ did. And therein lies my problem. Nobody in 2026 follows what Christ did. They don't, because they don't read the book. They only read 4 books, and then the other 60-something books just don't appear. And then some of them just misquote. Even those 4 books. So
brother Easy Bands, you can respond now.
Yeah, so that was just a lie that you made up, and I don't know why you have to make up lies. You know, I don't know who you've met that prays to a statue and calls himself a Christian. Nobody prays to a statue and calls himself a Christian, brother. They may pray to God in front of the statue. Now, that's different. They're not actually praying to the statue like, yo, this is God, and I'm praying to this God right here. That's idolatry, all right? Now, if we're talking about Catholicism, out of any Christian denomination is the only one of the very few, either that or Eastern Orthodoxy comes very close, but it's the one that has preserved the early church more than anybody. All right, we have all these Protestant church denominations and evangelical and all these denominations that's come out of that, but trust me, and that's why I don't even want to get into the whole denomination talk, because it's just going to muddy the water. All right, now the Catholic Church, if you go to their libraries, they're the reason why we have all the manuscripts that we have today of the Bible. They're the ones that have preserved the oral tradition, the priestly tradition, all that stuff. If you read the Didache is the early liturgical teachings of how to operate a church service. All right, they're the ones that basically preserve those. All right, so now you have examples like in the Old Testament where you have the Ark of the Covenant, and what did God tell them to place on top of the ark? 2 cherubims. All right. Yes. Now those could be considered images, right?
Yes.
So
the icons.
Yeah. So now, so this is the difference. It's not saying that we're praying to those cherubim. That's not what it is. So you saying that, oh, we shouldn't have icons and images and certain icons and certain like statues and things like that, it doesn't count, because like I just gave you an example of the cherubim on the
I didn't say that, right?
What's that?
I didn't say that. Your book says that putting those things and venerating those things in that position is a no-no.
Yeah, and that's what I'm telling you. Nobody venerates those things, even in Catholicism.
Easy Band don't say that.
That's
absolutely.
They have icons, right? So what an icon is it represents the theology, the doctrine. So you will find like it's a painting of Jesus or something like that, and he's wearing a red robe, and then he's wearing like
those are supposed to be forbidden.
He's wearing like a
gold Jose, you got to give him time to get it out, brother.
He's wearing a red robe. He's wearing like a gold sachet or whatever it may be. All those represent something about the doctrine. It's like telling a story through a picture. That's all it is. It's not a real image of the real Jesus, and we're saying this is him, and we're worshiping this image right here. That's not what it is. All right, just for the clarification.
But it's forbidden it's supposed to be forbidden in Christianity to make those images. Those are called graven images, which are carved images. That's supposed to be forbidden in Christianity. You're not supposed to be putting a statue on the altar.
Yeah, so it's talking about idol worship. That's idol worship is talking about, those graven images. But what I'm trying to describe to you is iconography, which is different.
It's the same thing.
It's not the same thing. You want to look it up? Look it up.
It's the same thing.
Just look up what iconography is.
As far as I'm concerned, it's the same thing, bro.
As far as you're
venerating the statue, you see? And the statue has power.
That's the difference.
Don't you know the Catholic Church, they talk about the statues bleeding and having the wounds of Christ?
Yeah, so look, those are miracles, right? There's not saying that statue is Jesus
So hold on. So you just spent a whole 2 to 3 hours yesterday saying that people in Kemet are like as if you had a problem with people bestowing certain life and energy upon statues. And the same Roman Catholicism that you're defending, that statues bleed and statues cry. So there's no difference.
So listen, the reason why I was doing that, the whole day, that actually goes against you. You were claiming yesterday that the deities are not literal. And I was telling you that in Kemet, those deities are literal and they used to inhabit the statue.
Bro, so I hear what you're saying.
Hold on.
I'm just making a comparison that you made that sound like something bad. And even in the Catholic Church that you're defending, they have statues of Jesus that they say move and bleed and cry tears.
So listen,
the same thing.
Do they make the claim that? Hold on. Do they make the claim that Jesus inhabits those statues?
Something must inhabit a statue for the statue to believe.
Do they make the claim, Jose? Do they make the claim that Jesus inhabits those statues?
The statue has the wounds of Christ.
You just said yes. So show me.
That is what they're saying.
So
the statue represents Christ.
No,
the statue represents Christ.
Do the statues? Do they inhabit? Do they? Does Jesus inhabit those statues?
Yes, he does.
So show me that.
He must inhabit it if it's bleeding.
So show me that.
He must inhabit it if it's bleeding.
You see, you can't show me. You see, so that's BS, bro. You can't just make claims like that and act like, yo, it is what it is.
So hold on. Stigmata is the wounds of Christ. So that means they're saying that Christ inhabits the statue. His wounds are transferred onto the statue and they are bleeding.
Yeah, bro. You just making things up. I asked you to show me where anybody says that Jesus Christ inhabits the statues in the Catholic Church, bro.
Did you hear what I said?
You can't do that.
They said by them saying the statue has the wounds of Christ, they are making the comparison to say that the statue now represents Christ. It represents.
There's a difference between a sign.
Christ on the cross.
There's a difference between a sign and then saying that, yo, this statue is inhabited by Jesus. That's two different things, bro.
It represents a wounded Christ.
Bro, if you can't prove it, because I've clarified to you what's going on here. This is iconography, right? Now, if you want to claim that, no, it's not iconography, it's idol worship, you have to prove to me where you've seen Christian doctrine from the Catholic Church with a priest saying that our statue over here is inhabited by Jesus Christ, God Almighty. You have to show me that. Otherwise, if you can't show me that, you're just talking out of thin air.
It does not have. They do not have to say it is inhabited by anything.
Yes, they do.
The statue. Yes, they do. They pray. No, brother. No, brother. They pray.
In Kemet, they do.
Do you know? Hold on? Do you know Catholics pray to Mary and Peter and Paul? Do you know that?
Listen.
Do you know that?
In Kemet, no, don't start switching. Hold on. We can go to that next. But now I got you here, bro. In Kemet, they actually do say that these statues are inhabited by the deities. That's why they venerate them.
So what?
They bring them libations. Hold on.
So what?
They bring them libations.
So what?
They ask them for.
Jose, come on now. Let him get it out.
What do you mean, so what, bro? The actual text itself tells you that the statue is being inhabited by the deity.
So
you're supposed to sacrifice to it. You're supposed to do all types of things to it, right? And it's supposed to answer you. So this is the difference.
Nobody said the statues talk.
Hold on. Jose, he is trying to give you the difference in what is happening within the two different institutions. So don't be rude. Let him get it out and then you can respond.
So in the Catholic Church, you don't see that. You don't see any doctrine saying, oh, our statues are inhabited by Jesus and we should sacrifice to the statues and you should pour libations for the statues, etc., etc. You don't see that, brother. So now you're just making stuff up. Now, when it comes to the saints, right? Here, I can read you Revelation 5 verse 8. Just give me a second right quick, if you don't mind.
Let me jump in here for a second. My wife is coming home just now, and I'm gonna wind down. So I'm gonna let you finish that, and then I'm gonna wind down the live.
All right.
Right?
Cool. All right.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm reading Revelation 5 verse 8. Let me see if I can get a proper copy of it. But anyways, let me see if I can just read it from here. In this vision, hold on. Sorry. So, and when, let me just reduce the screen size right quick. Sorry about that. All right, here we go. And it says, and when he had taken it, the 4 living creatures and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb. Each one had a harp, and they were holding golden bowls full of incense, which are prayers of God's people. Now, there where it says God's people, normally it's those are the prayers of the saints. So the saints basically are recorded in heaven, right? And their prayers.
Were you sharing your screen just now?
What's that?
Were you sharing your screen?
No, I wasn't. You need me to share it?
No. I thought you were sharing your screen because something is up there from
But I have a question for you, brother Easy Bands.
All right.
When you go into the Catholic Church, they give offerings to these statues, whether it's money or fruit or whatever. They give offerings. So
I've never seen
that them? Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
And I've been to Catholic Church. I've never seen that.
They leave money on the. Yeah, they do.
No, they don't.
They leave money in front of them. Yeah, they do.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
They do, bro.
Hold on. Let me explain to you where the money goes. There's a collection bowl that goes around the Catholic Church, bro. Like, you guys are tripping.
They leave money in front of the statues.
No, I mean, you're right. You're right. They do. They do have a collection plate just like everybody else. But in the Catholic Church, because we have one of the biggest Catholic churches here, right? Yep. They leave money and offerings to these saints in the church, in the Catholic Church. They do.
Yes.
So maybe not the Catholic Church that you've been to, but they absolutely do it.
So look, this is what I'll say, right? Is that they make intercession. They pray for intercession from the saints. All right. Now, I've never seen anybody, making an offering or sacrificing or something like that to any statue or the saints or anything like that. If you're talking about situations like that, you might be talking about, corruptions of the faith that you find like in South America. A lot in Mexico, and you find where they're doing they're performing these Santa Maria and all these kind of acts where they sacrifice to these saints that they've made up, like the saint of thieves and stuff like that, right? So you do find those in corruptions of the faith. But in the Catholic Church itself, I have never ever seen where these statues or saints are being provided with sacrifices. I've never seen that.
Not sacrifices, offerings.
Offerings.
She said
like,
fruit.
So what do you mean by
that? She said fruit and money, not dead animals.
I've never seen that.
I understand the difference between Santa Maria and but when you go into
Santeria.
I actually one day when I go downtown, I will go in the church, in the Catholic Church, and show where they have these offerings that they give to the saints, so that because again, it may not happen in the Catholic Church you went to. Because we let's be for real, a lot of these people that certain places they praise differently. So
like I said, maybe it's the corruption you're talking about, which if you can show it to us, man. I won't argue against the facts if you show it, but I've never seen that before. I've been to these churches before. I've been to Catholic churches before. In Africa, I've been to them here. And we've never ever done such a thing where we're offering sacrifices to the saints. I mean, offerings and stuff like that to the saints, or any statues of Jesus or anything like that. What you will find is people might light candles and go and pray to God in front of these icons, right? You might see that, but they're not praying to the statue itself. And then you're gonna see. Go ahead.
Easy Bands. This is a wonderful conversation. What I think we're going to have to do is I'm going to talk to DMG. We're going to set up a part 2 to this conversation because it's a good conversation. and I want this to continue. So we're gonna
All
set
right,
up a part 2. We're gonna let Light come in and moderate. She's a very good moderator, and we will definitely do a part 2 to this conversation, and we'll exchange a little more information.
So I
right,
want to
sister,
say,
can you-
because we can do this, we can actually set up for maybe early next week, or maybe on a weekend, whatever. But I want to open, if we do part 2, I would like to open with the question, and I want you to ponder on this very, very for a while, Jose. If
Yes,
you
ma'am.
say that you drew the parallel between Ma'at and the 10 Commandments, right? And if that's
Yes.
the case, then why would you say Christianity did not exist before? Because we know that these people were neighbors. We know that these biblical characters they learned in Egypt, just about all of them. They learned in
Yes.
Kemet. So
Yes,
then
ma'am.
why would you say that Christianity did not exist before Roman Greco times?
The reason why I'm saying is because I'm talking about the institutionalized Christianity, not being a Christian. There was no institution of Christianity in the sense of like how Roman Catholicism had it. It wasn't that way. Roman Catholics put it that way because they wanted control over the faith. And they
Okay,
wanted
so
to
then
appeal to
being a Christian existed before then, right?
Being a Christian, not the institution of Christianity. I make a separation between the two. They're not the same thing.
Okay, then we could discuss that in part 2.
One is a loose idea of a precursor. Then apparently they had a big fight between this faction, that faction, and the other faction, and somebody won.
So, sister, can you?
What it is today.
Sister, can you quickly just share my screen just so that I could just show this on the screen for the people about the saints?
Yeah, Jose's gonna have to do that because I'm not by my laptop this time.
Okay, cool. All right, respects, Jose. So as you can see there, it says, and when we had taken the scroll, the 4 living creatures and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, each holding a harp and golden bowls full of incense, which are the prayers of the saints. So this is why a lot of times you see that there is a tradition of Catholic people asking for intercession from these saints, because they know that the saints are close to God and their prayers are carried to God with incense, with bowls full of incense by these angelic beings. There's several places where you find this, and then it says in Psalms 141 verse 2 is there's a prayer over there that says, "Let my prayer be counted as incense before you." So this is basically the Revelations verse that I just read to you is hearkening back to the Psalms 141 verse 2. All right. So you see that there are these angelic beings in the heavens, and they're presenting these prayers with golden bowls of incense, right? And it's hearkening back to the Psalms 141, where the person is saying, "Look, let my prayers be counted as incense before you." So this is where the tradition comes from. The tradition comes from the fact that we know that there are angelic beings up there, and the saints are up there, and their prayers are heard by God. So that's why people ask for intercession.
Now, I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to let everyone close out.
All right.
Now, you definitely should understand that when you talk about saints, that's a super modern thing. Because back in the foundation of Christianity, they didn't have no saints. There's nothing in the ancient times to talk about saints. Saint is a modern Roman Catholic idea.
Brother, it's right there in Revelation.
But that's
a Revelation. Idea. I just read out of Revelation.
That is way more modern than the original Christians. Didn't have that.
Brother, it's what are you talking about? This is Revelations. This Paul wrote this.
They didn't have any saints.
I mean, sorry, not Paul, John.
That was written in 1511. So we know that that's
Revelation. Revelations was written in 1511.
I'm taking the call,
man. All right, man.
Version translation was written in 1511. The Bible was written in 1511.
I just read. Man,
okay, Jose, the Bible may have been written in 1511, but we know that these manuscripts are older than that. Come on now, let's be for real.
We know that some of them were definitely tampered with and don't say what the manuscript they found had said. We know that.
Brother, what are you talking about? Yo, listen, these books they've had these books since like what? the second century, collected.
Yes, but they have discrepancies with the Dead Sea Scrolls in these books, brother.
So let me give you some history. The person who actually forced the church to compile these books into a canon was a character named Marcion. So Marcion made a claim. What he did was he got a copy of Luke, right? And he edited all the pieces out of there that showed any tie to the Old Testament, to the ancient Hebrews, because he believed that the God of the Old Testament was a different God from the God of the God of the New Testament. That's what he believed. So he tried to separate any ties from that. And what he did was he took Luke and heavily edited it, right? So after that, he made his own canon. Okay, so what the church did in response is that they decided, like, yo, look, we got to take control of this because there's more people like Marcion coming up, and they're going to try to, manipulate the scriptures to what they believe. And so that forced not the Catholic Church, but the early church to compile a canon. And so that canon is very early compiled, bro. So for you to say that the Bible was written in 1157, that is nonsense.
No. I said the King James version.
I'm talking about like I'm not reading from the King James version. Look, this is the English Standard Version, bro.
Okay, Easy Bands. My wife is coming just now. And
All right, bet. All right,
so
bet.
We're gonna do a part 2 for sure.
All right, bet.
And the sister's definitely gonna moderate. So let me go ahead.
Right,
do you have any last words you'd like to say, Easy Bands? Or
man, I'll just say, man, peace and blessings to you, man. Don't let with anything, right? You can't let the actions of men decide what you're gonna do. All right, you can't let the actions of somebody. So with money, I could give somebody money and they could use it for good or they could use it for evil, right? So you can't say that money is bad because one individual used it for evil, whereas there's another individual on the other side who's using it for positivity, right? So that's my point to you. Don't get discouraged by what people do. Stick to what the actual doctrine says. If you stick to the doctrine, you won't be misled. That would be my advice.
I gotta go. Sister Seven to the light. Talk to me.
I really appreciate having you brothers up here. Part 2, we're going to coordinate a little better so we can have Easy Bands on from the beginning of the show. Jose, you got to calm down a little bit.
I do. That's why my brother said let you moderate because he knows I get extra excited.
Okay, and I just appreciate you guys coming. I appreciate the other fellas coming. I felt that brotherly love that you guys have for each other. And hey, let's talk about it again. Peace out.
Okay, I'm gonna end the stream. Peace to everyone. Thanks for coming in.
All right, guys. Peace to the chat.
I don't got no friends. You know what I mean? I got supporters, people on my side and people on the other side.
Welcome to the shift where the whole room glows. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you flat, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm like, yo, shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. This that channel that be talking back, energy attack. Iron sharpens iron, watch the whole league react. Competition in the building, better tighten up your facts. We ain't clones, but we still mirror how you crack under impact. Every debate will work out, spot a week, rap fast. You live wrong, paradigm shift, and break your stance. I'm the judge, the jury, the pen, the contrast. My bars hit always like a quadruple. Buy and tell the shift where the whole room glow. DMG vibes got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm like, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't all align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. We invite every mind, long as you stand on yours, walking with respect. leave with open doors. Channel stay lit, views jumping off from boards. STL bounce, yeah, the spot from the source. Competitors, welcome, step up, don't fold. We don't fit pressure, we refine under load. Thoughts heavy, we press them till the truth get told. Shift so clean, it feel platinum, even when it's gold. Come through correct, bring your logic and your proof. Speak your truth, just don't run from the truth. We debate with grace, that's the paradigm groove. Flow so smooth, even turbulence move. Welcome to the shift, where the whole room go. DMG vibes, got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Where the home go. DMG vibes, got the city on go. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' go. If you black, I'm with you, let the whole world know. Paradigm light, yeah, we shine just right. Respect your view, even if we don't align right. We can disagree and still keep the love light. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibes, got the city on go. Welcome to the shift. Stand on what you know, every mind gon' grow. Welcome to the shift. If you black, I'm with you, black, I'm with you. Welcome to the shift. We can disagree and still keep the love tight. Welcome to the shift. DMG family, we elevate the mind right. Welcome to the shift. DMG vibe, got the city on up. Walk with paradigm shift, keep the room for.
Y'all know I say that greeting for one reason and one reason only. It's because if you black, I'm with you. And I hope that you with me.